Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be discussing a couple of cameras today. One I will call the Platypus camera. That'll make you start thinking. And the other one I will call the gun camera. And that'll make you think too. But all will be revealed. I was at my friend Howard's place the other day, and we were discussing things photography, and he brought out a couple of his older cameras that he owned. And I'm going to share them with you now because I'm hoping to do a proper review of these two cameras in the weeks to come. And one is a digital camera and one is a film camera. So let's start with the gun camera first. I've said before on this channel that when I was young, I was gun happy. And then my dad convinced me to start shooting birds with a camera instead of a gun. So I've always had this association with guns and cameras. And of course you can get cameras like the Zenit, the Russian photo sniper. It looks like a rifle with a telephoto lens on it. And I have shown on one of my other videos here, a little handle that you put, which has got a trigger on it, and put a telephoto lens on a Praktika, I think I had it on, which a bit looks like a gun. But where to get the idea of a gun camera? Well, this is a pretty good camera. It's a film camera. And the gun bit comes in because it's a Canon. What else? A Canon camera. It's a gun camera. Anyway, ready for a glass of water already. So this particular one is a beautiful camera. And I've looked up a few reviews of both these cameras I'm going to be talking about. And without further ado, I'll introduce it to you. It's this one here, which is the Canon EOS 500N. And on the lens on here is a Tamron 28-200 autofocus, and it's an LD lens, aspherical lens. It's a nice lens. And I've actually got a similar one to this at 28-300, which I use on my Pentax cameras. It's similar, it looks exactly the same as that, except it's not the same focal length. But this is the camera, and I just put a film in it the other day to get some batteries for it. And there are lots of reviews of this camera on here. And it's got everything you could want on a camera, really, as far as all the bells and whistles are concerned. And all the settings, program, auto exposure, shutter priority, aperture priority, manual, actual depth of field. You can set your ISO, then you've got all these other symbols for close-ups and flowers and mountain ranges and all that sort of stuff, the usual stuff you have on here. Nice little LCD screen up here, a little window in the back so you can see what film you got in it, although it's a bit dark. Film I got in here is a 200 Fuji film, I think, 200 ISO color film. So one of the things when he handed me this camera, my friend Howard, is that the battery was absolutely flat. So I've since got a new battery and put in it. And one of the tricks you've got to learn with this camera is, you see that little, there's a little L there somewhere. Where is it? Just wrong side of my finger. There's a little L, a little red L. If you don't put that on lock when you finish using your camera for the day, that's when the battery will drain. And I'm guessing that this camera had not been put on lock, and so therefore the battery drained. It was totally flat. But now I've got a nice couple of new batteries in it. And they are lithium batteries, which are not all that expensive, but they're not as easily to get probably as they once were. I'll just take the battery out and show you. If I can get it out, that is. So there you go, these little, what are they? Lithium CR123A 3-volt batteries they are. So they're the batteries and they're fresh. So I've got a film in that, and I will start shooting some. I've shot a few shots out in the backyard yesterday, and also with this camera, that's that nice lens wood. But this other one here is a beautiful lens which I had never seen before, and this is a wide angle. It's a 20-35 millimeter f3.5 to f4.5 autofocus manual focus lens, and it is an EF mount, and it actually works on my 700D Canon digital SLR, and both these lenses work fine on there, and I tried them yesterday. I'll show you a couple of photos in a minute that I took with it. But this lens it's all plastic, but it's beautifully made, and it's got very good reviews. Some people are a bit mixed about it. There's a more expensive one you can get, an f2.8 version of this, but I tried it out yesterday. I'll show you some shots in a minute using my digital SLR, and you get some nice blurring on the sides and the background, and it's really nice for certain situations. Excuse me. So maybe while I'm just talking about it now, and there will be I'll do a full review of this later on when I've got it going and I've got some film shots back. So let's just see if I can find these couple of photos I took yesterday using this particular camera, or sorry, these lenses on my digital SLR. First the 28-200 and then the 20-35. So we'll just share this. Okay, so hopefully you can see that there. That is taken on my 700D Canon digital SLR. That's the 28-200. A little bit blurry, that one there. I probably didn't have the settings too right, but the color is beautiful. These are just JPEGs straight out the camera, and that's also with the same lens. Color rendition is beautiful. That's also with the same lens, and nice color and rendition there, quite sharp. Same lens again, still the same lens, and that's still the same lens. I zoomed in close and I got some nice bokeh or bokeh there with the blurred backgrounds on that nice rose. This one was a bit of an experiment, didn't all come out all that great. And then this, I think, also was taken with the 28-200. But then I swapped over to the 20-35. So these shots were taken with the 20-35. Once again, nice color. And as you can see, it's a little bit blurry on the sides, but I don't mind it. That look looks fairly good to me. And I love that shot of the rose. These are in our garden with the blurred photos in the background. I just focused on the rose. Beautiful lens for doing that sort of photography. Similar again. Excuse me. Coming in on the foliage. Same lens, still the 20-35. That looks beautiful there, except for the droopy flower. And then this shot here, I think that's the last one I did, which I think looks beautiful. Okay, let's stop the sharing. I'll have to try and edit out some of this coughing. Just have another squeeze. So, I promised you a platypus camera. What comes to your mind when I mention a platypus camera? Is it a camera that you take photos of platypus with? Or is it a camera that can actually shoot a platypus? Do you know what a platypus is? Well, a platypus, of course, is that wonderful animal that's only found in Australia. And when the early settlers arrived here and explorers, they couldn't get over this animal because they didn't think it was real. And when the first specimens were sent back to England, they all said, no, that's just been put together. People have just, a taxidermist has stitched that together. Because the duck-billed platypus is a mammal. It suckles its young. It lives in the rivers and creeks of Australia. It's got a bill like a duck. It's got webbed feet. It's a mammal and swims. And what else does it do? I think it's got some poisonous glands on it as well. So there you go. It's a little bit like a snake, maybe. I don't think it'd kill you though. But they didn't believe it. So why am I calling this next camera? I'm going to show you a platypus camera, because to me, it's a little bit like a platypus, a duck-billed platypus, or the mammal. They're called monotremes. They're called. The other monotreme we have in Australia is the echidna, which is a spiny anteater, which has got similar configuration as far as how it's put together. The spiny anteater and the platypus, they are supposedly related according to all the experts. So what is this amazing camera that I call the platypus camera? And I'm calling it a platypus camera because it looks like it's bits and pieces of everything, and It was a bit of an experiment, and some people probably thought that God was experimenting with a platypus when he put it together. Or the evolutionists would say something different. Anyway, without keeping you in suspense any longer, look at this beast here. Do you know what it is? Some of you might have one of these. It is the CyberShot Sony, it is Sony, I think. Yep, Sony CyberShot 7x optical zoom, 8 megapixel. Let's just see what it's called here. It's the DSC F828, and it's an amazing camera. You can see all these controls here. There are buttons everywhere on the back. It has got a menu. Now, I haven't got a battery. I've sent away for a battery and a battery charger for this. Well, I've got a battery, but I haven't got a charger. So, and it's got a screen on the back. And I've looked at some of the samples of this, and it's got a pop-up flash and a hot shoe if you want to put another flash on there. And it does video. Came out in about 2000 and what was it, 2004 or something, I think, maybe. And the original cost, I'm not sure it was Australian dollars or American dollars, was about $2,900. So you can't take the lenses off. The zoom is a equivalent of, in 35mm, it's a 28 to 200mm zoom, autofocus. And the unique little thing about this, and there are bells and whistles all over this, and some people have remarked, how come there is, see all the buttons on the side of it? And then there's buttons on the back of it. And they can't get over how many buttons. It's a bit like that old song, Buttons and Bows, by Pope, I think, Doris Day maybe, or someone like that. Anyway, it's got a screen on the back, so you can live view the screen on the back, or you can look through the viewfinder. And it's got some sort of special color configuration in the electronics of this camera, and it does give very vivid photographs if you look on Flickr and find some photos taken with this. And the unique thing about this is, though, we have my Canon 700D as a flip-out screen, and I love flip-out screens, but this was a precursor to the flip-out screen. So look, you can actually put it like that, and it's the same thing. You can stand up here and you're looking down on top of the camera, looking down on the top of it here to take a shot, just like a flip-out screen on your Canon 700D. But not only that, it also tilts the other way, so you can actually hold it up above your head. I've got it up there now and I'm looking at the screen, and if I had that screen turned on, I'd be looking straight at, I'd be focusing straight on the phone as we film this at the moment. So it's quite a unique little camera, and it's really well made. It's mainly plastic, I think. We've got all sorts of attachments. You shoot on a compact flash card, but it also takes a stick, a memory stick in there as well, which if you want to do some certain types of video, you've got to use that. There's a little slot down there alongside the battery where you put a memory stick. And according to, I've looked at the manual on, I've downloaded the manual online, and if you want to do certain types of video on it, you've got to record onto that memory stick. If you're using the other ordinary video, you record onto the compact flash. So there you go. It's got the full complement of settings, P, S, A, M, green button for amateurs like me, and scenes and video, everything under the sun, exposure compensation. And I've looked at some of the photos that I've seen on Flickr that people have taken with this, and the little pop-up flash seems to work a treat with full flash of portraits of people, young kids, and some people. This is a great camera. In fact, my friend said they used to take it on holidays. It's a great holiday camera to take, but it's a little bit heavier than some of the ones these days, but it just feels beautiful. And I'm keen to have a go at it. My plan is that I said I probably won't buy that off you, but I might sell it for you on Gumtree. So I'm going to do a full review later on this and show you some more photos, and then I might try and sell it, although I might get tempted to buy it myself. Who knows? Anyway, so that's the Platypus camera, that one there, the Sony CyberShot, and the Canon 500N, which is the gun camera. So I hope you found that interesting and whetted your appetite for a little bit more I'm going to do further down the track with these two cameras. And so I'll keep you posted. So once again, thanks for watching. Like if you like, subscribe if you wish, and I'll see you next time.